Let's go back out to our senior Washington correspondent, Dan Raviv. And Dan, this sounds like a real-life spy story, right?
It sure seems it, and here it is. I'm holding the 37-page indictment. It's chock full of information, which tells me that U.S. intelligence agencies and the FBI figured out what these Russians were doing. It's signed by, on the last page, Robert S. Mueller III, Special Counsel, U.S. Department of Justice. And he brought this to a grand jury, which agreed to all the charges. All 13 Russians who are named here, and 3 organizations, 2 of which had contracts with Russia's government, are charged with conspiracy to defraud the United States by obstructing the lawful functions of federal agencies that work to keep our elections free and fair. Then there are other charges of identity theft and bank fraud. They bought stolen bank account details, numbers, and names from at least one American, a U.S. citizen in California, who has now pleaded guilty to identity theft. There's no indication that that man knew that he was dealing with Russians, but it does show that Americans were taken advantage of. As a matter of fact, as these Russians set up fake websites, pretended to be American political activists, there actually were Americans who paid typically $25 or $50 to put their political ads. Against whom? For whom? All the Russians really wanted was to sow confusion and disruption. But it does say early on they supported Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump. And then in 2016, they were for Trump and against Hillary Clinton. That's in the indictment, even though the Department of Justice says there's no indication that this affected the outcome of the election, Derek.
And Dan, even with this, it doesn't appear to seem to disturb the White House. After all, the indictments don't indicate any collusion, which is what the president has been denying all along.
Well, so far. After all, Rod Rosenstein at the Department of Justice also said that the special prosecutor Robert Mueller is continuing in his investigation. So don't think that it's over. Recently, he was questioning, for instance, longtime Trump strategist Steve Bannon. Now, at the White House, officials do seem well pleased so far, and President Trump tweeted that this shows the results of the 2016 election were not impacted. There was no collusion, no wrongdoing by the Trump campaign. But as I say, the investigation continues. You could say it's not too bad for Trump so far. Derek?
Yet. All right, our senior Washington correspondent, Dan Raviv. Dan, thanks.